because every comedy, virtually every comedy, takes a little bit of time to find what it actually is and what all the characters can do and what the world really is. And now, and you guys had to do that in addition to being a new show in the midst of a global pandemic, which really restricted how you were able to shoot. So I'm curious, as you were looking at season two, for you personally, what was your biggest priority and what you really wanted to see? Now, as you mentioned, you did have the groundwork there and you knew what the show was.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest priority, I think, is to remember that it is a sitcom, and it should be very funny, a large majority of the time. Like I'm fine, dabbing into the emotional aspect of it and showing the dramatic chops, at times. But at the end of the day, we're making a sitcom here. So that was my main, reminder. Like, all right, let's not forget to be funny. You know what I mean? Like I understand like we're setting up storylines and things like that, and that's fine, and arcs and stuff. Now that we have a chance to like really start arcing characters. But let's never forget, whenever we have an opportunity to be funny, we should pounce on that.
Yeah. Well, and so one of the things that is at least brought up in the first episode back in January, or one of the first episodes back in January, is the dating. And so, what can you tease about how Kenan is handling getting back into the dating world?
Messy. I'll say that. At the very least, it's messy. But he's a little rusty, so he's just guided by instinct and having to kind of learn a lot on the fly, basically. So it's funny to watch him like kind of stumble through that a little bit. But I think later he kind of gets it together, and then there's another realization, and then there's another realization on top of that. So there's some good little flips in the season in just some 10 episodes. Like it's a fun, nice, packed in, like gaboom season, like there's enough like, oh, maybe this will happen, and then like, oh, maybe that'll happen, but you never really know. So you got to come back for the next one. I like that.
Well, with those flips, how much were you told ahead of time, or were you discovering it script by script because it's episodic television?
I enjoyed the script by script moment, like learning stuff at the table read and not necessarily being like too hands-on in the writing process and allowing these brilliant writers that I've been surrounded with kind of do their thing. And then of course, if I have objections, then I'm always allowed to voice that opinion. But it's nice to kind of see what everybody's creative mind is on this one vision. It's very interesting.